This is amazing. Today was the last day that they were out here. Everything's done. It's cleaned up. They're not coming back. They're coming back for wood chips, but we'll get to that in a second. All these brush piles are gone. There was some pretty massive piles out here. Today they came out and there was like 5 trees over here. And I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that, I went up there and there was a bunch of like wood and resources that I picked up and I moved and I put over on the other side over here, that's boneyard. And it was just, I'm so glad that I did it. At first I did it and I was like, oh, they're not gonna end up doing it. It was all in vain because they're not gonna be out there. And then come to find out, they were way in that mess today. So I'm glad I moved all that stuff when I did, because otherwise they would have just been trampling over stuff, or they wouldn't even gone up there and had access to it. I don't know what they would have done, but I'm just glad that I didn't have that stuff up there. And they kind of cleaned up. I had just a big mess over here of wood that I hadn't split yet. That was kind of hard stuff to split. So they like organized that. So that's just all firewood there. And then there's a couple of rounds over there that were dropped a while back, but they organized that and then they put a bunch of new stuff in there. There's some really long logs over there. We're gonna get some nice timber, some nice lumber out of that. It just looks amazing out here, guys. And so I called the head honcho today. We got one more pile over here too. I called the head honcho today because I know things were getting down to the end and I'm gonna be going grocery shopping in the morning. So I wanted to make sure that I touched bases with him while I was here on the property, make things convenient for both of us, and talk about wood chips. And this here, there's a humongous pile right here. That's gone, and that's been there for a little while. So I mean, it just looks great over here. But the wood chip thing, so he came over, was talking to the head honcho, the guy I want to be talking to, and what he's gonna do is have the truck driver, he said he's gonna be in the area for like another month. So they're off on different properties. They're still on the road, I think, at some other house, but the truck that he's coordinating with is gonna be picking up a load, taking it up to their headquarters, getting it chipped, and then he's gonna come back with a load of wood chips. So that truck will never be empty. It'll be full going up there with stuff to chip, and then it'll be full of chips coming back that he's gonna drop off here before he goes and picks up another load to keep going. So that truck will be full time. And I asked him how many yards roughly he thought it was, and because somebody left me a comment the other day about a truck like that would have like 30 yards of wood chips in it, and I was kind of trying to pull it out of him without me throwing it out there. But yeah, he was thinking like 25, 30 is what he said. I mean, so we started walking around, and I was like, yeah, I want some here, and I was telling him that, you know, open the floodgates. I want as much as I can get, and he keeps looking at me like, I don't know, like I'm making a deal with the devil. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, he's gonna make me say uncle. Because he's told me in the past he'll bring wood chips out to people and they're like putting the brakes on. It's like, whoa, that's way too much. So I told him I'm all in on this. I've got, I want to cover the area where my solar panels are, do the ground covering over there. I've got the garden that we can use, the medicinal herb garden we can use there. There's walkways. I mean, we're gonna do the lumber yard. I mean, there's so many things that I can think of that we can use wood chips for. So I was just trying to get the point across to him that I want a lot of wood chips, and it's like I don't want to like miss this opportunity, because it's not necessarily that easy to come across wood chips sometimes. So I got a great opportunity to get them, and I want to take full advantage of it. So the thing was, is we were going, and I was like, okay, we can do it here, and he told me like, okay, you want wood chips? I'll give you some wood chips. But the deal is, I can't call him back and tell him I want him to come pick them up. So that's the deal. And I think it kind of makes me like, I'm ready. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do with this, because I'm gonna put them to use, and no matter what, we're gonna utilize this. I wouldn't even think about this if we didn't have a backhoe though. So that makes all the difference in the world, is the backhoe. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm happy that today is done, because this place looks great. All this mess is cleaned up, and then we're gonna start a whole new mess tomorrow with wood chips. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that brings. So anyway, guys, that's my day. Thanks for hanging with me. See you tomorrow.